God is faithful. Are we faithful to God? For the 21st Sunday of the Ordinary Time, the readings come from Joshua, Ephesians, and John chapter 6, the continuation of the Discourse on Bread of Life. The readings presents a common theme, the call to make a decisive choice in a faith journey. As Christians, disciples of Christ, we make the journey. In the first reading from the book of Joshua, the Israelites are asked to choose whom they will serve. The Lord will deliver them or the false gods of their ancestors. In the letter to the Ephesians, St. Paul speaks about the relationship between Christ and the church, urging us to live out our faith in our daily lives, especially within our families. In the Gospel of John, we see the disciples grappling with Jesus' difficult teachings on the Eucharist, leading some to turn away, while others, like Peter, choose to stay with him. These readings for this Sunday, for 21st Sunday, reflect on the choices we make in a relationship with God and how these choices define our lives. Constantly, we are on the crossroad in a Christian life. The first reading from Joshua calls to make the right choice. Joshua gathers all the tribes of Israel, challenges them to make a choice. Choose this day whom you will serve. Joshua, the leader of the Israelites, recognizes their commitment to God cannot be half-hearted. It requires a deliberate and conscious decision. The people, recalling all that God has done for them, choose to serve the Lord. This reading from Joshua invites us to examine our own commitment to God. Are we faithfully committed to serving Him, or are we swayed by the gods of our time? In personal reflection, ask yourself, what are the gods of our time you and me serve? Is it materialism, selfishness, or indifference? Like the Israelites, we are called to renew a commitment to God, remembering His faithfulness and choosing to serve Him wholeheartedly. The second reading, Ephesians, Paul calls out the practical ways in which we live out our choices to follow Christ. It's living out our faith and relationship, particularly within the context of marriage and family life. St. Paul uses the relationship between Christ and the church as a model for the relationship between husband and wife, emphasizing mutual love, respect, and self-giving. In a marriage where there's no mutual love, respect, self-giving, it is not a marriage, it's just a transaction. This teaching reminds us that our faith is not just a private affair. It has a profound impact on how we relate to others, especially those closest to us. A Christian cannot say, I love Christ and can't love others. The commitment we make to serve God is reflected in our daily interaction with others, in how we love and care for one another, and how we build our families as the local churches. Christ within the church is just a building, a mortar, an institution. Third, from the gospel passage, the challenges of Jesus' teaching. Gospel brings us a moment of decision for the disciples. Just as just delivered his teaching on the Eucharist, many of his followers find it difficult to accept. They murmur, they grumble among themselves. Some decide to walk away. This does not soften his message to keep them, but instead asks them, 12, do you also want to leave? Peter's response is one of the profound faith. Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. This moment is a call for us to consider how we respond to difficult teachings of Jesus when our faith is challenged with suffering, doubt, or demands of discipleship. Do we turn away, or will we, like Peter, choose to stay with Jesus, trusting in His promise of eternal life? As we reflect on these readings for 21st Sunday, it's a powerful reminder that faith is a choice. It's a choice that must be made continually throughout our lives. Joshua called the Israelites, Paul's exhortation to the Ephesians, Jesus' challenge to his disciples all point to the same truth. Our commitment to God requires a decisive, wholehearted response. As we face the challenging decisions of our own lives, remember, Peter's words and to choose to stay with Christ is the words of eternal life. May our lives reflect this choice in the way we love, the way we serve, the way we remain faithful to God who has been faithful to us. God is faithful. Are we faithful to God? Let's commit to Christ. The cost of discipleship is to continuously call to respond to Jesus' call. Thus, we conclude the discourse on Eucharist, the bread of life. Eucharist is the source and summit of Christian life. It is the source of eternal life.